The anesthesia paradox. What happens when consciousness turns off? You're told to count backward from 10. By 7, the world begins to dissolve. By 5, you're gone. But what if I told you that you don't actually fall asleep? What if instead, a single drug begins a controlled demolition of your conscious reality, systematically shattering the very connections in your brain that make you, you? For over a century, we've had a quiet assumption that anesthesia simply turns the brain off, like flipping a switch. But that's not what happens. Anesthesia isn't sleep. It is a journey into a precisely engineered void, and what it reveals about the nature of our own consciousness is both fascinating and a little terrifying. We've been asking the wrong questions. The real mystery isn't just how we lose consciousness, but what consciousness even is for it to be lost in the first place. Section 1. The common misconception: anesthesia is not sleep. The most common way we describe going under is as a deep sleep. It's a comforting thought, but it's fundamentally wrong. While some studies show surprising similarities in how brain activity fades in both states, the differences are far more profound. Think about it. You can be shaken awake from even the deepest sleep. A loud noise, a persistent nudge. Your brain can pull itself back online. Under general anesthesia, that's impossible. You are unrousable, not because you're in a deep sleep, but because the very mechanism of arousal has been pharmacologically taken apart. Sleep is a biological process, governed by intricate cycles of REM and non-REM stages. Your brain isn't offline. It's doing critical maintenance like consolidating memories and clearing out metabolic waste. Anesthesia, particularly with a drug like propofol, does something entirely different. It doesn't follow these natural cycles. It imposes its own artificial state, often characterized by powerful slow brain waves that might look a bit like deep sleep on an EEG, but lack the complex, structured patterns of natural rest. Anesthesiologists see these rhythms in the operating room, and they are a direct sign that the brain isn't off, but has been forced into a new, highly controlled state. It's not rest. It's a lockdown, where the brain's communication pathways are systematically disrupted in a way that's vastly different from just being asleep. Section 2. Introducing the controlled demolition. So if it isn't sleep, what is it? A more accurate way to describe it is a controlled demolition of consciousness. Imagine your conscious mind is a bustling metropolis. Information flows constantly. Sights, sounds, thoughts, and feelings are like vehicles moving between different districts over a vast network of highways. Sleep is like the city at 3 a.m. The traffic thins, the streets are quiet, but the highways are all still open. A few important vehicles, like a startling sound, can still get through and wake the whole city up. General anesthesia isn't like the quiet of night. It's like engineers systematically closing major bridges and highways that connect the city's districts. Anesthesia is now understood to affect multiple brain networks. The districts themselves, different regions of the cortex, might still show local activity, but they're isolated. They can't communicate with each other effectively. A delivery from the sensory district can no longer reach the central processing district. The global conversation that creates the unified experience of consciousness is silenced. This is what researchers sometimes call a pharmacological fracture. Drugs like propofol don't just put a wet blanket over the brain. They selectively disrupt the critical communication loops that hold our conscious reality together. A key part of this is the disruption of connections between the thalamus, the brain's central relay station, and the cortex, which is responsible for higher thought. This isn't a simple shutdown. It's a large-scale disconnection. And in that disconnection, we find the paradox. Section 3. The How. A step-by-step breakdown. To understand this demolition, we have to look at how these drugs work on a smaller scale. A widely used anesthetic, propofol, acts primarily by enhancing the effect of a neurotransmitter called GABA, which is the brain's main off signal. By binding to GABA-A receptors, propofol makes them more sensitive to GABA, which essentially boosts the inhibitory signals throughout the brain. You might think that just boosting the off signal would quiet everything down uniformly. But the effect is more complex. It's not a simple shutdown, but a change in the pattern of activity. This enhanced inhibition has a profound effect on the brain's communication networks. The constant, high-frequency conversation required for consciousness breaks down. Instead, anesthetic drugs can force brain regions into a synchronized, slow-wave rhythm. This powerful, simple rhythm isn't a sign of inactivity. It's the rhythm of disconnection. The brain's various regions are now locked in a monotonous chant instead of their usual complex dialogue. Sensory signals might still arrive at the thalamus, but they don't get integrated and processed by the cortex in a meaningful way. The message is never fully delivered. Consciousness, which depends on this global conversation, evaporates. One of the most fascinating parts of this process involves a brain network called the default mode network, or DMN. The DMN is a collection of brain regions most active when we're at rest, daydreaming, thinking about ourselves, or recalling memories. It's often considered the seat of our inner monologue. Studies on propofol show that it alters connectivity within the DMN and between the DMN and other networks, which is thought to contribute to the loss of consciousness. It doesn't just turn off the lights. It helps silence the part of your brain that thinks of itself as I. Section 4. The You in Anesthesia. This brings us to the most profound question. If your brain is still active but the connections are broken, where do you go? The anesthesia paradox forces us to see that our sense of self isn't a static thing located in one spot. It's an emergent property of communication. You are a process, not a physical object. You are the symphony, not a single instrument. Anesthesia reveals that this symphony is incredibly fragile. By disrupting the timing and integration of information flow, the unified self shatters into a collection of isolated parts. This supports one leading idea in neuroscience called integrated information theory, IIT, which proposes that consciousness is a measure of a system's ability to integrate information. When that integration collapses, so does consciousness. What's left is a brain that's biologically alive, but a mind that's absent. This suggests our entire reality is built upon a specific pattern of synchronized electrical chatter. Change that pattern, and reality disappears. This is so strange that some researchers are exploring more exotic and still highly speculative ideas to explain it. A few studies have provided what they see as tentative support for theories that consciousness might have roots in quantum physics, suggesting anesthetics could interfere with tiny protein structures inside neurons called microtubules. While this is still a fringe idea and far from mainstream science, it shows how the puzzle of anesthesia is pushing us to question everything. The experience of that seamless, timeless void is a direct encounter with the biological bedrock of our identity. It tells us the self is not a given. It is a constant, delicate, and astonishing act of creation. Section 5. Addressing the fear factor. Now, the idea of a controlled demolition of your consciousness can sound terrifying. It brings up the most common fear associated with anesthesia: waking up during surgery, a condition known as anesthesia awareness. The thought of being conscious but unable to move or speak is a primal horror. However, the very science that reveals this demolition process is the same science that makes modern anesthesia incredibly safe. Anesthesiologists aren't just guessing. They are actively monitoring the electrical rhythms of your brain in real time using an EEG, along with your heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing. They can literally see the signatures of unconsciousness, those powerful, slow waves, and precisely adjust the dose of medication to ensure you remain in that state. Understanding that anesthesia isn't just turning off the brain allows for much more precise and safer control. The demolition is precise, reversible, and supervised at every moment. The risk of awareness, while real, is rare, occurring in about 1 to 2 out of every 1,000 cases. The paradox of anesthesia has not only given us a profound window into consciousness, but it has also provided the practical tools to manage it with a level of safety that would have been unimaginable just a few decades ago. Conclusion and the takeaway. We started with a simple countdown from 10 and arrived at the very frontier of what it means to be human. We've learned that anesthesia isn't sleep. It's a temporary and reversible shattering of the brain's integrated network. It's a pharmacological fracture that isolates brain regions, silencing the global conversation that gives rise to the mind. And this process, the anesthesia paradox, reveals the most astonishing secret of all. Your consciousness, your sense of self, isn't a solid thing. It is a fragile, dynamic process, a symphony of synchronized communication that, when disrupted, simply ceases to be. The fact that we can turn consciousness off with a molecule and then bring it back, fully intact, is one of the most miraculous feats of modern medicine. It gives us an unprecedented tool to probe the very nature of awareness itself. The next time you think about anesthesia, don't just think of it as falling asleep. Think of it as a journey to the edge of existence, a controlled glimpse into the void that reminds us just how incredible it is to be conscious at all. If this journey into the brain sparked your curiosity, please consider subscribing. We'll be exploring more fascinating intersections of science, medicine, and the profound questions of the human experience. Thanks for watching.